Yeah, just started recording. Okay, here we are. Um, Last time we established identities for ourselves for the upcoming
Oh,
party.
right. Yeah.
Do you remember who you were? Or can you tell me who you decided to be?
I have a character mapped out, but I can never remember the name of the person.
So,
Hold on.
Claudia, I believe, is calling herself Lady Claude.
Oh, okay, and I'm oh, hold on. I wrote down. Uh, oh, Nan Leslie, eccentric secretary to the Minister of Internal Affairs in Aquaria. And I have a little there was a little section I was going to do and stick in as a ode to a the Scissor Wolf character from
Oh,
Chad books.
oh, okay. All right, yeah. So wait, well, so before you guys set off, let's well, Claudia says, "Let's hear it, Lester. Give me a practice run."
Nah.
All right, perfect.
What? I'll tell you a little bit about the Secretary of Internal Affairs. He was a dipshit.
Okay, William the Wizard shakes his head at both of you, and he says, "If I weren't in my 90s, I would go along with you just to see how this all plays out, because I don't think it's going to play out very well."
Ah, well,
William continues. William continues to shake his head and says, "This is ageism on display. We don't actually act that way once we hit our 90s."
some do.
"Some do indeed," says Claudia. "All right, let's get the hell out of here. It's about
Okay.
it's about 8 o'clock, and once we get there, it'll probably be close to 9. We got a party to
Okay.
infiltrate."
Yeah, we got a pill for invitation, right?
Yeah. So
Okay. All right.
you guys leave the offices of Wally the Wizard, head back into the wide open streets of Tartec, where it's evening, and you guys want to move towards that purple square right there. That's the manor house of Lord and Lady Maloose.
Okay.
Yep. And as you guys move through Hightown, you can see that like all the noble houses have started having their own parties, their own pre-celebrations, getting ready for Immortality Day. Um, and a lot of the nobles are sitting out on their lawn, they're sipping wine, they're drinking, they're talking. But it seems that nobody's party is going to be quite as big as the party at the Maloose Manor. All right.
All right.
Now, once you reach the Maloose Manor, you see that the place is packed.
Oh.
Okay, now, if you notice, if you look down close at your icons, Lester's got a brown circle on his, and Claudia's got a blue circle on his and on hers, and that just represents that you're in disguise. So Lester right now is wearing a frumpy dress and a wig, and looks like a crazy old lady. And Claudia has let down her hair and wrapped her cloak around her, so it looks like she's wearing a shawl, and she looks like a fine, sophisticated young noble lady. All right.
Mhm.
So over here, there appears to be a long queue leading up to get into the party, and you can see those two bodyguards outside checking over every invitation, and you can see Lady Maloose at the front of the house, greeting the people as they come in. And there's a whole lot of chatter. "So, what should we do, Lester?" Claudia asks.
Well, we need to see if we can find the way in. That should, if we can do a little pocket picking of the pockets, um, that would get us an invitation. and then we can make a copy of it with our forgery equipment.
Alright, Lester. So, let's try to find a decent target amongst these assholes in line. Which person looks the most gullible, you think? Should we try
Someone
to...
who's like someone else, maybe. Someone who's like, yeah.
What do you think about that big-boobed lady at the back?
Okay. Someone who has a
Alright.
visible, yeah, maybe,
Alright, then. So,
visible pocket.
so who do you want to do the pocket picking? Claudia or yourself?
I think it would come down to, this is like one of those dexterity things or something like that.
Yeah, so let's take a look. If you look at your character sheet, it would be a sleight of hand check. So
Sleight of hand check.
you don't specialize in sleight of hand. You do whenever you do a roll, you get +2 to that. Let's see what Claudia gets. Claudia gets a +3, so it might make sense to have Claudia do it.
Okay. Plus, it might make sense if she could pass off as something like a woman kind of thing.
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
like, oh, I was just fixing this stuff. I noticed that the tag was out in your dress or something.
That's a good idea, Les. All right, let's get in line and act all nonchalant like. And once we get up to that lady there, I want you to just start babbling, okay? Just start babbling some crazy stuff about Aquaria and whatnot, and I'll try to do a little bit of the old pocket picking. All right.
Mhm.
All right. So you get up in line next to this lady who's chatting with the people in front of her, and maybe time for you to start talking crazy.
All right. Well, back in my younger years, I was telling you, these parties, they remind me of those days. And I just can't help but remember there was this one guy, I never forget, I never even knew his name, but they called him the Scissor Wolf.
The Scissor Wolf! Claudia exclaims.
Oh, it's a real man, that one, the broad of shoulder.
Broad of the shoulders! And so as you guys are talking crazy, the people have started looking at you, like this lady is looking at you now with curiosity.
Yeah. And he could unfurl me sails like, well, let me tell you something. I mean, we did our best work in the dark those days, I tell you. And I only knew him for a couple days, but man, as the song goes, he made me feel like a natural woman, I have to say.
So the yeah, go ahead.
It is because of him I decided to have the wandering lifestyle. I decided that the life of a internal affairs secretary was no longer for me in that little shithole of Aquaria.
So the nobles, because Tartec on the outside is supposed to be a fairly conservative society. Once you start talking crazy, they're all like, oh! And then the woman over here is like, well, I never. Such shameful talk. Where are you two from? And Claudia says, oh, you got to excuse my crazy Nan. She suffers from the internal indigestion in her older years, and sometimes likes to just have the diarrhea of the mouth, so to speak. Right now, she's talking about the sails unfurling, and oh, excuse me. Claudia goes forth and actually grabs the lady kind of in an embrace, and then the lady is like, so she's kind of on top of the lady like this, and the lady is like, excuse you? What is the meaning of this? And then Claudia pulls back and says, pardon me, my lady, it's just that my old crazy Nan here was talking about the unfurling of the sails. With that low-cut dress you're wearing right there, that was about to be unfurled just now too. It started slipping from the back. I just fixed it up for you. And let me just...
that's very nice. You can't let the boobage flying around. I mean, that would be not great. I mean...
Let me just see how
back
successful this ploy was.
You that was something else. I mean, you got to keep things where they're at, but
Okay,
I was thinking.
Claudia. So this
Huh?
this little
What's that you
this
saying
little
there, Shaggy?
ploy. This little ploy, I just rolled a 17, so Claudia was able to successfully pilfer one of the
Oh,
invitations
nice.
from the woman's pocket as she reached up to adjust the dress. All right. So she successfully got an invitation in hand. Now the line has started to proceed. Okay, it started to move up. This couple here has made their way inside, and the line's much shorter now. The woman looks at the two of you and shakes her head and says, "The riffraff that they let into Hightown these days." And she continues to move up to await her turn in line. Alright. Alright, Lester, I got the invitation. I just need to make a forgery of it. Can you hold my spot in line? I want to go somewhere secluded where I can try to make a copy of this.
Yep.
Alright, so Claudia is going to go off here. Let's see, somewhere where she's not in the line of sight. She's going to go up to this corner here. There's an old well here by the house and a tree. And she's going to go over there. And she yells out to nobody in particular, "Excuse me for a minute. Nature calls." And then some of the people in line look back horrified once more. But I'm going to assume that you're continuing your crazy talk, yes?
When you gotta go, you gotta go. I mean, be a bad thing to pee in your pants.
Alright, very good. Okay, so Claudia's busy making the forgery. Let me roll to see how good of a forgery she makes. Oh, it's a 3. Might not be that good.
Oh,
Let me see. She is.
oh man.
She is proficient in. Well, she gets a proficiency bonus when using the forgery kit. So she gets a +5 proficiency bonus. Okay, it's not the best. It's not going to be the best forgery. So you guys might need to do some talking to get through as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so she comes back. And she comes back in line behind you. And she says, "Alright, Lester, I've got it." And then she shows you the forgery of that she's managed to make. And, the original invitation said something like, "Welcome to the esteemed party at the Maloose Manor. All nobles of Hightown welcome." And the forgery that she's made, it's not the best. Some of the lines and the calligraphy are a little scraggly. It kind of looks like a rush job, which it probably was. And then Claudia says, "Alright, Lester, I'm just going to give the original invitation back to this big booby chick over here." And so Claudia goes over and then bumps into the lady again.
Why don't we give? Why don't we give? Is it possible to give her the fake and us to take the original?
That's a good possibility. She bumps. Okay, so Claudia bumps into the lady again, and is like, "Excuse me, miss. Your nether regions are once again out in the open. Pardon me, I'll just fix them up for you." And she starts fiddling with the woman's dress. While she's doing that, I want you to. Once she's doing that, she's gonna try to do a forgery swap. Let's just see how well she does this. Okay, 12 plus a proficiency bonus. She manages to do it. She does a kind of strange rummaging around in the woman's dress, adjusting the woman's hemline and the frills of her dress. Does some quick swappery and comes back to your side. The woman looks vaguely horrified. And it seems like she might be thinking about saying something to the guards. How will you guys proceed?
I'll just start saying some crazy stuff. It's like, "Oh, that was so nice of you, Claudia. It was so nice of you to fix her dress. I mean, in a place like this, you gotta look your best, and we're all just trying our best."
The woman says, "Which noble house did you two come from again? I don't believe I've ever seen you around Hightown before." Claudia says, "All right, I'll do the talking this time, Lester. Hang on." And so Claudia comes in front and says, "My name is Lady Claud, and I can't mention it out too loud. I am the secret daughter of the Lord Clodophius. I've heard about him in the papers, actually, and we all know how he gets on with the women's, alright, and how he's reputed to have a couple different families. Just between you and me, he couldn't be here this evening, but I am representing him, alright. Now, this Lord Clodophius is actually a real person in Hightown, who is rumored to engage in affairs, on the down low, and all the nobles tend to gossip about him. And Claudia rolled a 4, so it's not a very good ploy, and the woman is continuing to shake her head as if she's doubting you. All right. So you guys are moving closer and closer up in line, and Lady Malus is greeting the guy in front of you. And this lady here that you guys have been harassing so far, she goes up to the bald guy here. His name is Bernard. She says, "Excuse me, these two behind me have been extremely rowdy thus far. I think you might want to check their invitations." Alright. So the guard, Bernard, comes up to you guys and looks you up and down, and he doesn't recognize you based on the disguises you're wearing, okay? And so he asks for invitations, please. Alright, Claudia hands over the invitation that you stole from the big boob noble lady. He gives it a look, and because she succeeded on the swap, it's a legit invitation. And he's like, "Alright, doesn't seem like there's any problems here." And he goes back to his post. And the lady is like, "But excuse me." And he says, "Sorry, my lady, I mean, everybody's rowdy, it's Immortality Day. Once you get inside, we'll just make sure that drinks are distributed and everybody has a good time, and I'm sure they just probably started drinking before they came here." The lady shakes her head.
Oh, yes, I always make it a point to pregame a little bit, maybe a fifth of the whiskey, and maybe a little, sometimes I do add a little of the vodka, but, just to get the juices flowing. And maybe I just did it a little bit. I really, as someone of my age, I really should not be doing that, but, it's Immortality Day, and,
She suffers from the diarrhea of the mouth and the indigestion. "Don't mind, dear old Nan Leslie," Claudia says out loud. This lady here, she continues shaking her head, and she goes up front and is like, "Let me in inside. I need a glass of champagne to get away from this riffraff. These people that pass for so-called nobles these days never fail to disappoint me." So she shows her invitation, the crappy forgery that Claudia made, to the guards and to Lady Malus. Alright? Now let me see if the crappy forgery manages to pass their inspection. Alright. So, the crappy forgery is actually good enough. Alright? They actually let the lady in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it was good enough. Alright. So the lady immediately makes a beeline for the nearest stand of champagne. And she goes into a room and starts chatting with a good-looking nobleman up at the north of the house. Alright, now it's your guys' turn. Lady Malus looks you up and down and says, "Who might you be? Welcome." Claudia says, "I am the esteemed Lady Claud, secret daughter of Lady Clodophius. We all know who he is, and we all know his vices, and I'm representing him this evening. And this here is my eccentric Nan Leslie. She's a bit not well in the head, so to speak, and tends to run on at the mouth. So please forgive her for anything she say that might unintentionally offend." Lady Malus says, "I don't believe I've ever seen you in Hightown before." And Claudia says, "Well, we all know how, we all know the vices and problems that my father secretly has, and how he tries to keep a low profile, but he certainly does want to be part of the major social events up here, and so he sent me tonight to represent him. And my Nan is visiting. I just want to show her a good time. Please, we'd very much like to be a part of your wonderful bash this evening on this wonderful Immortality Day. Long live King Darian! May the hair on his cheeks never fall out." Alright, and she just rolled a deception check, and she rolled an 18, and she's pretty persuasive. And so she's got the real invitation, and, well, she apparently didn't need it because the fake invitation was good enough. So finally, Lady Maloof nods, says, "Alright, very well. Welcome inside, what'd you say your name was again? Lady Claud and Nan Leslie. Welcome inside. Enjoy yourselves." Right. You've made it in.
Alright.
Alright, so the party's going on, the nobles are standing about drinking, and there's fine food laid out in every corner of the house. There's lots of champagne. Lady Maloof has gone to the center of the house to begin socializing. And now it's up to you guys how you want to proceed. I'm just going to put you in this corner here right now, and I'm going to say that the nobles are walking around, talking amongst themselves, doing lots of drinking. The two guards have once again moved to the front of the house to wait for any further arrivals, and nobody's immediately paying attention to you right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
What's the plan, Lester?
to look. All right. Well, we have to look for our Nevan gentleman and his friends. See what they're up to. See if there's any information we can gather from them. See if we can find one of them and
Right.
maybe tail one of them for the night.
Do you think it would be better if we split up, Lester, or stick together?
I think it would be better if we split up. I'll wander about and see what I can come up with. I'll just sort of babble here and there.
Alright, Lester, is there a particular target you want me to go after? Like somebody you want me to try to question?
Well, if you remember the woman we tried to talk to in the kitchen area, that didn't really go so well, and the gentleman we met outside who was unfriendly. If we happen to see any of them, those would be good targets.
Yeah.
And if
So that guy you met outside, that was actually Etor, right? That was the guy we're looking for, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy was
Alright.
trouble.
So, alright, I might as well try to find out what I can from that Nevan waitress lady working in the kitchens.
And then the lady of the house, the hostess. I mean, she knows something.
Alright. Shall I take the hostess, or do you want to take the hostess? I could take the Nevan lady if you want.
Yeah, I can take the hostess.
Alright, Lester. Let's do it to it, as they say in Aquaria. Actually, I don't know if they say it there. I've never been there, but sure they got some kind of weird country bumpkin saying down there. And she waddles off. Pushes her way into the kitchen, says, "Excuse me, trying to find the latest grog. Pardon me, excuse me. Just a noble trying to get drunk." She's in the kitchen there.
Okay. Alright.
So she's starting up a conversation with these folk here, and you can kind of see her through the open doorway. There's a door here, but it's open right now. And you can see that Carmen, that Nevan lady that you creeped on through the window a few sessions ago, she's serving out drinks to everybody here and opening up more and more bottles of wine. Looks pretty overworked.
Okay.
All right. All up to you now.
Well, let me just look around. Can I look around?
Yeah, sure. Move wherever you want, and I'll tell you what's going on.
Like directly ahead, it looks like there's Lady Maloof and this other lady here, and then
so Lady
up the hallway.
Yeah, Lady Malus is having a conversation with another noble from High Town. They appear to be gossiping about, the usual stuff that nobles are gossiping about, like whose household is doing the best at the moment, um, who is secretly sleeping with who, so on and so forth. It's nothing particularly useful at the moment.
Okay, I'll come back to them.
Okay.
Let's go up here. Let's go up here into this room here.
Yeah.
These people here.
So this lady here is the one that you pissed off at the.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, that's the one that you pissed off at the front, and she sees you enter into the room, and she opens her eyes wide and uncomfortably.
Okay. Well, we'll stay away from her, and.
Okay, so
these guys?
You waddle off, and this woman shudders at the sight of you, and then leans close to this good-looking nobleman here, and begins drinking heavily to try to get rid of the memory of being harassed by you. So there are two gentlemen here enjoying a quiet smoke in the corner of the house.
Oh.
One of them looks at you. Okay, I'm going to say that this guy in the red. He looks at you up and down and he says, "Good day to you, madam. You, here to sit down and enjoy some of the old pipe weed with us?"
Oh, so charmingly nice of you, you young gentleman, to indulge a old lady in out of town, and that is very nice, showing hospitality in that way. I would love to. My name's Nan Leslie. I come from a little town in Aquaria originally. Secretary to Internal Affairs, and those were the days, I tell you, those were days. But and who might you gents be?
So the guy in red says, my name is Lord Astor of the Astor House of Hightown. And this fellow right here on the bottom says, and my name is Lord Crabster from the Crabster House of Hightown. And Aquaria, I've never been there. Is that a district in the city? Or is it outside of the city? I don't really venture beyond the confines of Tartec, if you know what I mean. I can't stand the countryside. It's so many mosquitoes and so much dust. It's not good for my complexion.
Yeah, well, you and I share that. That's where I was from, but I didn't stay there long. It is quite far from here, at least a day's journey. And it is in the country, not in the city. And I didn't like it much either, so I didn't stay.
Yeah.
There's a man called Scissorwolf. I mean, that was a man. That was a man's man who showed me the ways and let me know that there was life outside of that little town there.
Lord Crabster says, I've never heard of this Scissorwolf, but yes, indeed, these strange towns on the outskirts of society. I for a while did have a side business of mine, growing pipeweed in a town to the north of here, bordering the territories. But I never went there myself, you see. I just let my associates handle it. By the way, here, I've got an extra pipe. Come have a smoke with us. It's kind of rare to see a lady of your years indulge in a bit of the old puff. So he passes you a pipe.
I find it helps the glaucoma a little bit. Helps my appetite.
Lord Astor says, well, personally, I do enjoy hitting the pipe myself, but, just between you and me, it tends to give me the shits, but, a man must have his addictions, and pipeweed is one of them.
Well,
so they
if
give
it
you
helps be regular, then that's a good thing.
They give you this pipe, and they fill it up with pipeweed for you. You gonna take a puff?
Oh, yeah, I'll take a toke.
All right. Roll a d20 for me. See how much the old pipeweed affects you. This will be, let me see. This is going to be a Constitution check. Josh, you rolled a 2. You suddenly feel a strong wave of, of heaviness over you, and all of your senses seem elevated, but at the same time you feel kind of sleepy. Lester LeFoe, it appears, might be slightly high at the moment. There's a possibility that what you say might not come out the way you intend it to. So you'd best play up the crazy old lady syndrome.
Oh, wow. This is some stuff. They don't grow like this in Aquaria, I tell you that much.
So when you said Aquaria, accidentally aquarium came out. And the two men are like, huh? Lord Crabster is like, do you raise fish, my lady? I too am quite a big fan of fishing and raising goldfish. I have a pet goldfish named Nemo. He's my pride and joy.
It's an excellent name. I was planning on naming my firstborn Nemo. I do enjoy good fish here and there.
Lord Astor says, your firstborn, my lady. How many children do you have?
Well, it kind of depends on how you count. Would that be children? I would say probably around 4 or 5. Maybe sometimes it's 6. It depends. You see, I don't like to get into it. It's a bit of a tragic story, but 2 of them, they didn't make it past the first year, so that's why I say it varies a little bit.
Yes. So
for a living, and so
because
the first oldest.
Because of the pipeweed, when you said 4, came out as 14. And so Lord Astor is like, sweet Jesus, my lady, you must have been fertile, if you don't mind me saying, in your youth. And Lord Crabster is like, say no more, my lady. Just between you and me, I've got a few seeds of my own scattered across the city. Got to send them the old child support check on the regular. Truly, it is the worst experience every month when I need to fill it out, but I understand. And Lord Astor's like, oh, you too? Oh, well, thank God that whatever is said in Lady Melusa's party stays in Lady Melusa's party. Personally, I enjoy fucking animals. Lord Crabster looks at him, slightly horrified, and backs away, and says, not Nemo! I'm not letting you have him!
Oh, well, I must say, there's nothing like a horse's dog.
So the weed made you say horse's schlong instead, but it's the same thing. So... and so... Animal Fucker in red is like, I've truly found my kindred spirits this evening. Immortality Day, truly a day for revealing the truths of one's own self. Let me tell you about animal fucking. I got into it after following the example of King Darian. I believed that, seeing King Darian truly celebrate his immortality just inspired me to start living my life as if I was immortal. So, I said, get out of here to the wife. I'm all about these horses now.
This Darian seems like an interesting fella. We get so little news about him in the outskirts, and certainly not these juicy details.
So, Lord Crabster here is shaking his head, still thinking about Nemo's fish. And then he says, well, it's interesting that he talked about giving up the wife and telling her to go away, because from From what I've been hearing in this very household, there's been a little bit of strife between the Lord and the Lady Malouse. A little bit of, not sharing the same bed, if you catch my drift.
Ah.
Yeah, and Lord Astor here says, indeed, I've heard tell of it in the Tartec Tribune in the gossip column. Word has it that Lady Malouse a little too friendly with the hired help in her husband's constant absence. You ever think that it's a convenience that she hired so many of these good-looking Nevan immigrants? Wonder what she's up to in her bedchambers.
Can't resist such a man. I couldn't either. He was the sizzle.
And Lord Astor says, but I'm telling you, no matter who she's sleeping with, it can't compare to some good old-fashioned horse vagina. And he laughs to himself, and then goes off to refill his tankard. Lord Crabster is here shaking his head and saying, horse vagina. Never really thought of it that way. Is there anything particular you'd like to ask this guy? By the way.
Very sorry if you're offended about the goldfish. We were just sort of joking a little bit that maybe it was the wine, maybe the pipeweed influence. But I'm a great lover of animals in many forms.
Ah, you too. Well, excuse me. I've got to take my leave now. I believe I need to go check on Nemo back at my own household before somebody runs up and tries to screw him.
Oh, well, very nice talking to you.
So the guy leaves. He looks a bit disturbed at the various remarks that have been thrown his way. He steps outside for a minute to maybe continue his smoking in private.
Okay. Maybe I'll go past these, and then what about these people these two women over here?
Ah, yeah, sure. So two lovely young women relaxing in this secluded room, sipping their champagne. What would you like to talk with them about?
Oh, hello, ladies. Would you mind if an old lady just takes a load off for a few minutes? My heels ain't just what they used to be.
Of course, grandmother, says this nice lady here, and she steps aside, lets you take a seat on this. It's like a cabinet here, but lets you lean against it.
Ooh.
So, says the blonde, quite some party, huh? Lady Malouse always throws the best shindig every annual Immortality Day. I wouldn't miss it for the world.
It is very impressive. Very impressive.
Okay.
My name is Nan Leslie, and who might you fine ladies be?
Ah, says the blonde. Lady Jessica. And this here, the dark-haired one, Lady Monica. And we've just been talking about how lovely the party is too, but we haven't seen any of those good-looking Nevan servants that Lady Malouse has.
Oh, I've heard of them.
We were hoping to catch a glimpse. There's particularly one very handsome one, so rugged and rough-looking. He usually works in the fields behind the house, but we haven't really caught a glimpse of him. It's such a shame.
I think I know the one you're talking about. I forget his name, but he's a real slice of the manhood.
Yes, indeed, says Lady Monica. If he were here, I'd like to get a good look at those rippling chest muscles and those pulsating inked tattoos on his body. Oh, really gets the blood running the more I think about it.
I know what you mean. If I were about 50 years younger,
Lady Jessica here says, well, what I've heard is that Lady Malouse secretly invites that young man to her bedchamber on a regular basis when her husband's away. Mum's the word, but it's what I heard in the Tartec Tribune gossip column, so it has to be true.
Really? Well, who could resist such a man?
Yep.
Or is it the other way around?
They look at you quizzically, not exactly sure what you're saying.
Well, do you think it's... He can't resist her charms. She is quite the lady.
That's a possibility, says Lady Jessica. I mean, Lady Malouse, she does employ all the Nevans that come to her household. She truly is the most generous employer this past season. I mean, her and her husband won the blue ribbon for checking their privileges and employing the most underprivileged people of the last 365 days.
You know, back when I was living in Aquaria, we had a case. I worked as Secretary of Internal Affairs for a long time. But there was this interesting case once where it was a very similar thing where a noble woman hired various people for help who were disadvantaged in the city, and well, she would say took advantage of them because she was getting them out of trouble, you know. And it was a sad thing because they didn't feel like they could say or complain otherwise.
So are you
I really hope that's not happening.
You're saying that Lady Malouse might be helping out troubled people or people up to nefarious deeds?
Oh, I don't know. But that was what was happening in this case in Aquaria. Yeah.
Well,
it was quite scandalous at the time. It was about 50, 60 years ago, if I remember right.
Well, says Lady Monica, I wouldn't be surprised if she is. I personally don't trust any of the Nevans. I just think they're good looking. I'd take one to my bedchambers once or twice, probably, just to say that I did it. But, you know, beyond that is enough for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright. Yeah, is there anything else you want to say to these two? I mean, so think about what you found out so far from your talks with the nobles. You found out that Lady Malouse is potentially sleeping with the hired help.
Yeah.
And you found out that Etter, that guy, may be involved with her. Yeah.
So she knows more about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there any other particular objectives that you wish to determine from speaking with the locals?
Well, I guess we still don't have a connection with the. We still have no real connection that we can say for King Darian's assassin.
Yeah, for King Darian's assassin, but you have a feeling that the assassin somehow connected with the Nevans, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So maybe asking about that.
Yeah. So maybe asking about that, or talking with the lady of the household if you want to. So the nobles have been moving around while all this is going on, and Claudia is still doing something in the kitchen. And so they've been moving to different areas of the house. Lady Malouse has moved down here, and yeah. So up to you what you want to do now.
Okay. Well, I'll say goodnight to these ladies. Say I've rested. Oh, I've rested enough. I think I'm ready to continue on my journey. I need to refill my glass. Can I get you ladies anything?
Oh, that's all right, Grandmother. We're quite fine. You enjoy yourself.
Oh, you too.
All
right, let's see.
Where do you want to go now? You're no longer high, by the way. It was a fairly fleeting high. Yeah.
Okay. Let's try one more room here. Why not? Just 3 of these. Oh wait, those are the same guys from before?
It's just I reuse the same graphic. It's a different pair of guys.
Oh, like different.
Yeah. So these two here appear to be trying to hit on this woman here. All right, and they look at you. They look at you annoyingly and say, "Hey, no grandmothers allowed. We're trying to get it on."
Oh, really? Well, best of luck to you.
Excuse you.
I know it seems like you could use another party here, but I think anyone I'm not wanted.
"Begone, foul old hag!" screams the younger man and shuts the door.
Well, go. Let's just try in here.
All right. So in here you have a similar situation, where two young women are trying to get it on with this guy. And so this guy's like, "Oh, another one?" And then he looks at you and sees your elderly age and says, "Oh, excuse me, I don't mean to be rude, my lady, but I prefer the youth. Not that you aren't youthful as well, but excuse me, we've got things to do. If you could mind stepping out."
Oh, yours, buddy. Okay, I'll leave.
Yeah. So there appears to be some nasty shit going on in these rooms here. Oh, this here is the bathroom, by the way.
Cannery going on.
By the way, up here's the bathroom.
Oh, okay, that guy. Okay. Why don't we go down here?
All right.
Talk to the lady of the house.
Yeah, so Lady Malouse has been chatting with this guy, but he's going off to smoke his pipe in peace on the couch. And so Lady Malouse is actually free at the moment. So she says hello to you and says, "Why, hello there."
Oh, Lady Malouse. Such a lovely party.
It is indeed, and I hope you're enjoying yourself. Oh, it's a shame my husband couldn't be here. He doesn't know what he's missing. But, surely another successful bash put on by the Malouse household. You still there? Hello? Josh?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it froze for a second.
Okay. Yeah. So,
I was just saying, was he called away in business?
what was that?
Oh, I was asking Lady Malouse if her husband was called away on business.
Yes, he was. He has to go up to the mines and the territories to take care of problems with our son's business. I don't know if they're actually problems. He says he needs to go there for business purposes, but he's been gone for so long lately, and so frequently. It truly just makes a woman ever so lonely, if you know what I mean.
Oh. Yes, that's women, I tell you.
In times like these, I just wish I had a proper man in my life, a constant man, you know?
Yeah. Oh, I know. There's a couple of them here that if I were about 50 years younger.
Oh, I can't
Well, we
say
could
I
do some
care.
damage to each other.
Can't say I care too much for the other nobles in Hightown. I prefer men of more rustic quality, if you know what I mean.
Ah. Really? And I myself is from the country in Aquaria, so I know what you mean. There's a difference between city manliness and rustic manliness that has an air of the pine trees and the shoveling of the poo.
The shoveling of the manure. Well, that reminds me, there was actually a fight between two of our servants a few days ago. One of the men that we designate as the manure shoveler in the pools, he came to blows with our star Neven, so to speak. They don't get on very well. Quite a shame when the hired help comes to blows, but generally, sorry, I didn't mean to say that out loud, just thinking to myself. Generally, our Neven servants, are the best you'll find in Hightown.
Yeah.
Will you be
You're certainly doing a nice job.
will you be joining us tonight? What was your name again? Leslie? Will you be joining us tonight, Nan Leslie, at the after the party wraps up? At midnight, we're all going to head down to Lura Square to witness the onset of Immortality Day, where King Darian's unveiling that famous statue of his that's been under wraps. Will you be joining us?
Oh, I'd love to. I've been looking forward to that.
All right. Well, I look forward to seeing you there. Our men are off preparing the coaches to carry us down there later this evening. So, she was your granddaughter, right? You and your young granddaughter. We hope to see you there.
Yes. And again, thank you for your hospitality. I really hope things.
Now, speaking of the granddaughter, Claudia's finally finished, and she's come out of the other room, and she says, "Hey, Nan Leslie, got something to tell you. Excuse me, my lady. Me and my Nan need to go defecate together, cleanse our bowels." And so she drags you up here to the bathroom, and she's like, "I got something good, Lester. All right." So follow her up to the bathroom.
There's another dude in there.
And so Claudia starts rapping on the door, and a guy inside is like, "Hey, I'm taking a shit in here." And Claudia's like, "Excuse me, sir. Two esteemed young ladies need to use the facilities." And the guy's like, "But I'm taking a shit in here." And Claudia's like, "Hurry up and wipe your buttocks. My Nan's about to explode. You don't want to see that, trust me. You don't want to see a 90-year-old lady fill the floor in front of her with fecal matter." Alright.
I'm gonna go up to the door and start rapping on the door and "Hey, mister, are you in there making them stinky poos?"
The guy's like, all right, hold on. And you hear the sound of some wiping, some washing of the hands, some flushing. Alright, so then finally the guy comes out and is like, "Jesus, alright, fine. God, fine, have at it." He goes off. Leslie pulls you... sorry, not Leslie. Claudia pulls you into the bathroom and says, "Sorry, bathroom off limits for a moment. I need to clean my Nan's underpants." So she pulls you in. So the bathroom smells like a turd. Claudia's like, "Dear God, someone died in here. Oh, my Lord. Goodness gracious." So Hubert, the pet lamb, he pops out of the bag of holding as usual, says, "Bah," and starts dropping dookies in the sink. And Claudia's like, "Oh Jesus, Hubert, fill in the sink." Just overflowing from the edges. Alright. So the bathroom smells even worse than it was before. But Claudia looks at you and says, "Alright, Lester, so did you discover anything good from your talk with the crazy people in this place? Jesus, I can't stand nobles. They make me sick to my stomach."
Well, it seems like Lady Malouse is having some problems with her husband, and is shacked up with Ether, which we had met before.
Right. Anything else, Lester?
There was some of these nobles are into some interesting shiznit.
Maybe try to speak a little louder, Josh. Your sound's quite soft at the moment.
Oh. Some of these nobles are into some interesting shiznit, like banging horses.
All right, so you didn't really find out much useful, says Claudia, but all right, here. I managed to that Nevan young lady who's serving drinks to everyone. I managed to pick her pocket when she wasn't looking, and I found these.
Oh.
And so Claudia pulls out a couple jangly keys. Okay. And Claudia says, "Now, if my hunch is right, I think these keys might be the keys to that little Nevan dormitory, that servant quarters that's located outside the house. All right. Now, I think we might be able to find something in there. I don't know if anybody's in there right now, but it's worth a look, in my opinion."
Okay.
All right. So, do you want to go check it out?
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right, Claudia says. Let's just not flush anything. Let's take our leave, and the stench will distract these people. All right.
We're gonna leave the dookies in the sink.
Yep. So Claudia opens the door and is like, "Sorry, coming through. There's been a bit of an accident in the sink. Come along, Nan Leslie. Been a bit of an accident in the sink. You got some large intestine matter clogging up the drains." Excuse me. And so people start coming out, and they're like, "God, what is that smell? Smells like a horse died." And so they're like, coming through, and Lady Malus is like, "Oh my God, what is that? Smells like a barbarian's penis." Barging through, and Lady Claud is pushing past the guards at the front. She's like, "Excuse me, gents, might want to check out the bathroom. Me old Nan had a bit of an accident and I've got to go wipe her off in the bushes. Excuse me, there's shit all over the floor. Pardon me." And so Jasper and Bernard, the guards, are like, "What? Oh God, we're going to have to be the ones to clean that up." And so they begin entering into the household to presumably clean up the shit. And finally, you and Claudia are outside. It's like, "Oh, Hubert did something good for once. Dropping his bowels everywhere, ruining the fine upholstery, shitting in the sink, just not giving a damn, just flowing. Diarrhea of the mouth and diarrhea of the lamb's anus a thing tonight." Alright, so you make it up to this shack here. Okay, and Claudia's like, "Lester, get out of view of the window. The window's right there."
Okay.
Yeah. "Come on up, Lester." I'm just gonna move you. All right. So you guys are up at this this area right here. It's okay. I'll move you right here, up in front. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Just so nobody sees you. Yeah. All right. So you guys are at this large entryway, and there's a door here. And so Claudia holds up the keys and then jangles them and looks around to make sure that nobody's looking, and then tries one of them on the lock. Okay, and it fits. All right. And so you guys are going to enter the servants' quarters. All right. Okay. So you guys are in the servants' quarters, the servants' dormitory. Doesn't appear to be anybody around at the moment. Claudia says, "So this must be where the Nevans relax and chill after work. Let's take a peek around, Lester."
Okay, if anybody catches us, we thought that this was the outhouse.
Right. Because we ruined the bathroom of the interior, so we tried to go to the bathroom of the exterior. All right.
Right.
And
We're just wandering around.
maybe for dramatic effect, I can have Hubert come up again and crap on the floors. All right. Just be Nan Leslie shitting her bowels everywhere. All right. Got a case of the leaky insides. That's what happens to all Aquarians once they make it into Tartec. All right, so you should be able to move wherever you want.
Let's see. Let's look in this first room here. This is a kitchen or something?
Yeah, go inside and check it out.
Yeah. What's this stuff? Is this like, looks like food and other stuff like that?
Well, yeah. Click on the screen to what you want to look at, and I'll tell you.
There's like bottles and
Can you
some
move
kind of
yourself? Can you move
food.
yourself? Are you able to move yourself right now?
Yeah, I'm moving, right?
Oh,
Like I'm inside this little kitchen room.
Oh, for some
here.
reason you're not moving on my thing. Hold on.
There's sort of a lag.
Oh, there's a lag? Okay. Yeah, you're not moving on my screen for some reason.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, hold on one second.
Well, I'm in that first room, that I guess to the left of the characters. Yeah,
Okay.
this room over here.
Okay, that's fine.
There's like food and knife and
Can you
other stuff like that.
can you see my purple
It's
thing?
next to this.
Yeah, can you see my
door.
purple thing where I? Oh, okay. Can you see
Yeah,
that where I
yeah.
highlight it?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
that works fine.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you're in the kitchen. All right. So there appears to be it appears to be a food preparation area. There's there's a lot of bread and cheese and there's soup on the table. And over here on the side, right here, there's a whole bunch of potions.
Can we take a look at the potions? A closer look.
Yeah, you can rummage through the potions, and you see that at least you see that 3 of them are actually healing potions.
Can we take all the potions?
Yeah, sure, you can take all of them. 3 of them are healing potions. You don't know what the other 3 do.
Okay, I don't know. Let's just take them.
Okay, sure. Write them down in your in the treasure section of your character sheet. Yeah, so you take all of them. So you have at least 3 healing potions right now. You don't know what the others do.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Do we want any of this food, Lester? Don't know if we really want it.
Maybe take something like a piece of bread or something, like something we could use later.
All right. Claudia grabs a whole loaf of bread.
That,
A whole loaf of bread can
A
help
loaf of bread
recover
or
a
something.
little bit of HP if you're in a bind.
yeah.
All right. So Claudia just grabs a whole loaf of bread, shoves it into her pack. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. What about the storeroom here?
All right. It's a gigantic storeroom mostly filled with bags of grain, huge barrels. The barrels appear to be mostly filled with mead. Some of the barrels are empty. Bags of rice. It's mostly just a food preparation area. There doesn't appear to be anything that's immediately useful.
Okay. Let's see here.
Claudia's moved up and is looking at these rooms here and says, Lester, it seems like these might be the actual sleeping quarters.
Yeah. What about this one here? This has some dresses and stuff like that.
Yeah. So one of the keys that Claudia uses on the door, like it works. She appears to have swiped the keys for all the doors in this little dormitory. So there's a lot of dresses in here, a lot of clothing. You can see that the clothing seems to match what you saw that Nevan lady Carmen wearing, the one in the kitchen that Claudia stole all this stuff from.
Okay.
Yeah. over here,
Hmm.
you see a couple books on a shelf.
Let's see. What kind of books?
A couple of them are
Anything interesting?
trashy romance novels, actually. Romance novels from Neva. Hidden behind two of the trashy romance novels, however, is actually a small book that you've seen before. And I don't know if you remember, but previously, when you last visited the manor, you saw that Nevan, Carmen, she was writing in a diary. And this appears to be her diary. It's locked, but you might have one of the keys to open it.
Okay. Does any of the keys work?
Alright, so Claudia tries all of them, and yeah, the smallest one on the key ring works. Alright, and it unlocks the diary. And shall we read it, Lester? Shall we find all the dirty secrets?
No, might as well.
Well, they say you're never supposed to wear a young lady's diary, but sure, why not? Alright, so here's what you find. Carmen's diary. There's quite a few entries in here. Alright. Starting from August 20 to October 7th. August 20's entry just says, "The days have flown by. We've been working at Lord and Lady Melusa's house for quite some time now. I don't think I'll ever get used to Tartec, and the bad glances that people give me on the street when they see my tattoos always rubs me the wrong way. But Etter says we have to endure if we want to restore the Constantine name. It's all necessary for the plan, and I need to keep that in mind. Still, it kills me to see Etter fraternizing with Lady Melus like that." September 14th. Etter and Salvador have spent weeks studying the ins and outs of the city, mapping out routes. The shipment of Slug's Kiss should be arriving soon, and then Jasper and Bernard will begin prepping the device. Our sleeper agents and the police have reassured us that there will be no problems installing it on the base of the statue prior to Immortality Day, but I still feel uneasy. What if something goes wrong? September 22nd. The boys are fighting again. Salvador continues to shun magic, saying it's what ruined Lord Constantine, that we shouldn't be relying on it. He boasts that he can complete the job solo without the use of any hocus pocus. Asher says that magic is simply a tool, nothing else, and that we need to stick to the plan. Salvador is so impulsive. He angrily knocked over a whole row of wheelbarrows in the field today, and Bernard had to clean it up before Lord and Lady Melus noticed. Lady Melus has been taking Etta to her bedchambers more lately when her husband's away. The nerve of these nobles. The city is so conservative about male and female relations on the surface, but so many dirty secrets lurk behind closed doors. Etta says he's only doing it because we need to remain in her good graces so she doesn't suspect anything, but I still hate it. October 1st. The Slug's Kiss shipment was incomplete. We needed at least 6 vials and only received 5. Etter's furious at Salvador, says that he only had one job to do and somehow still managed to mess up the order. Salvador says that we can still get the extract we need since a traveling circus has just come to town and they'll have a great slug on display. He claims that the workers guarding the slug aren't too bright and he can get the extract without them noticing. Salvador says this should read Etter. Sorry, that's a typo there. Etter says he's an idiot and we shouldn't have to resort to this in the first place. I'm so worried both of them have come to blows twice in the last week. Finally, October 7th. I can't believe Salvador was so reckless. Etter nearly killed him over this fiasco. Why would he risk everything to try to carry out the mission by himself like that? Was it just to show Etter that he could do it? Well, he failed. Men are such fools sometimes. There's a lot of information there.
Maybe we should just take this thing.
Yeah. What do you think you've determined from this? There's a lot of info hidden in this.
Yeah, I don't know. We're going to need to look at it more closely. But these are the people.
Yeah.
These are the people behind the orangutan getting out, and these are the people that are probably behind Darian's assassination.
Yeah.
Something about restoring the Constantine name.
Yeah, so they say in here restoring the Constantine name. And it says, Etta says we have to endure if we want to restore the Constantine name. There's something about a plan. And there's a... So, So Jasper and Bernard, those are the two guys guarding the entrance of the manor. All right, those were the two guards. Etor is the
Copying the
guy.
device. Something about.
Yeah, Etor is the guy that you saw in the fields, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's just Salvador. I don't know who Salvador is.
Something about the base of the statue. Oh, so that means that something's going to happen tonight. Some shit's about to get real tonight.
I don't know what that means, Lester. How can shit get real? But I think I catch your meaning.
Yeah.
Yeah, installing something. They've got sleeper agents in the police. I wonder who that is. It's not Small Dog, is it? I wouldn't be surprised if it's Small Dog. Something installed on the base of the statue prior to Immortality Day. And if King Darian's gonna unveil that statue at midnight, then yeah, as you said, the shit is going to get real. It's also something about magic.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't
Yeah,
really get that
magic,
part.
yeah.
And something about the Slug's Kiss shipment. The Slug's Kiss is that poison we've been tracking this whole time. And
Yeah.
they something about they screwed up the order. And then yeah, you remember Evelyn's traveling menagerie of animals in Lura Square. She had that slug, and we talked to people there a long time ago, and they said something about how there was some guy washing a slug, and that slug produces a poison.
Well, let's see what's in some of these other rooms.
All right, so you guys take the diary.
Here. Yeah. Do you have Claudia hold on to it in her bag?
Yep. Pop it in her bag of holding. She's got it. Which one? Right or left?
Right, I guess.
Alright, so the key opens to the interior of a room, and there's a bunch of dirty clothes hanging on a line, and a beer mug on the bottom of the bed, and a plate here with a half-eaten meal on it. Yeah. Doesn't appear to be too much else. It looks like the room might belong to one of those guards, either Jasper or Bernard, one of those guards up front, judging by the clothes on display.
Okay. What about this other room on the left?
So this other room on
Looks
the
like
left.
there's a lot in there.
This other room on the left, it's got a whole lot of papers on the ground. Old copies of the Tartec Tribune. Lots of old clippings talking about King Darian's regular schedule, his hunting habits, his latest meetings with ambassadors from the territories, his latest interactions with the leaders of Neva that he's been negotiating with recently, and as well as lots of articles about how the Nevans and Tartec are more and more coming in through the border, and they're being employed throughout the city. They're finding employ in Lowtown, and a lot of noble houses are bringing them into the fold in Hightown as well. And then on the desk, there's a whole bunch of maps of Tartec. All right, and similar to the map that you guys used to traverse the city. All right, there's a copy of the world map, of the mass-produced world map that J. Alsworth created, and a bunch of quills and a lot of scribbled writing. All right, the desk here has a compartment to it, like a locked drawer.
Let's take a look in that drawer there, if we can.
Yeah, it's locked, and the keys don't fit it. But you'll have to pick the lock if you want to open it.
Okay. Yeah. We do have a lockpick.
Yeah, do a d20 roll to see if you can pick the lock. You and Claudia can both try. It's a slight lag, I think. What did you end up rolling?
Yeah, connection is not great.
Yeah. What was your number? Just tell me. We'll do it that way. Oh, you rolled a 5. Okay. Yeah, you rolled a 5. That's not enough to. That's not quite enough to pick this particular lock. I'll have Claudia try. Let's see. A 4. Yep, you guys aren't able to pick it. Yeah.
Okay. So whoever lives in this room, though, has been probably involved in that whole assassination attempt. What's all this junk on the ground here?
Those are just the
right in back.
Yeah, those are the various papers and stuff like that, and the newspapers and all the planning crap that seems to be in the room.
Yeah. Okay. Can we try again? The whole lock thing?
Yeah, sure. Give it another try. Give me another roll. There's a possibility that your lockpick might break, though, because you're continuing to try to force you're continuing to try to force like a lock that you're not very good with. So there's a possibility that your lockpick might break.
Yeah.
So you could try it again, though. You can try it again. It might not happen. You rolled a 1. Yeah, your lockpick actually broke. Yeah.
Oh.
You're -1 lockpick, because that's what happens when you roll a 1. I can have Claudia try if you want to.
Sure.
Alright. Alright, she rolled a 6.
How'd she do?
She rolled a 6. That is enough to open it. Barely enough. Yeah, you guys rolled pretty low. 5, 4, 1. So a 6 just barely gets it. Alright, so you open up the drawer, and inside you find it's kind of like a kit that has a bunch of spaces inside for small little vials. Okay, now most of the vials are empty. There are 2 remaining vials that have something in it. It's a milky liquid. All right, hidden in the back of the kit is a small page. It almost looks like kind of a page of instructions. All right, here's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Slug's Kiss antidote.
Yeah, a potion to counteract the paralysis caused by the Slug's Kiss poison. If consumed, the drinker is invulnerable to the poison's effect for 24 hours. It's made up of Nevo plantains. If no plantains are available, regular bananas will do. 7 teaspoons of milk, 5 tablespoons of cloudberry juice. Yeah. So there are 2.
All right.
There are 2 of these small antidote vials. Yeah.
Good thing to have when we liberate those.
Claudia says, "What should we drink this, Lester?"
Maybe not yet.
Alright. It does work for 24
Well, let's hang on to it.
It does work for 24 hours, though, so we should be, once we drink it, we should be protected in case we get into a rough spot.
Yeah. Okay. Is there anything up here? In these rooms up here?
So the room on the right, it's got clothes in it. It's got a bunch of weights on the ground. Appears like the guy's a heavy lifter. But other than that, nothing in particular. The room on the left just appears to be an empty spare room.
Okay. The last place is this one over here. I don't know what this is.
This appears to be a drinking room. where
Fair.
I guess the servants
Yeah.
relax. There's a whole bunch of barrels on the wall filled with beer, empty tables, beer mug on the table. Nothing too suspicious at the moment.
Okay. Well, why don't we exit? I think we've gotten what we came for.
There's a room down here, Lester. We need to check this one out. In the lower left.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's a room here on the lower left. Appears to be a game room. There's there's people. There's a game of stones out on the table. Give me a d20 roll. I just want to see if you're able to perceive something. This would be a perception check for you.
Okay.
Yeah. What was that? Just tell me since there's a lag.
Six.
A 6. Okay. Yeah, you don't.
Yep.
Let's see. Let me just see what's your bonus for perception. Hold on. What's your? Okay, you don't really perceive anything, unfortunately. Let me see what Claudia will. Let's see what Claudia spots it. A 6 as well. You guys are very dumb. You don't see anything. All right. Well, you don't see shit.
Oh well.
Alright. What would you? Okay, so what would you like to do?
Did we? Why don't we go?
Okay. Let me know where you're. So where are you right now? Where are you moving? Okay.
Move out.
Alright. As you guys prepare to leave, you hear a shifting behind you, coming from the room that you just left. Alright? And you hear voices. You have a few seconds to react. It appears that voices are coming out of that room and moving in your general direction. What will you do?
Which room?
This room here that you just came from. You hear voices.
Oh,
Yeah, and
let's just.
and a shifting of
Yeah.
something.
Let's hide over here.
Lester, that's in the view of the damn door. Let's go inside somewhere. Let's hide in the kitchen.
Okay.
Yeah. Alright, you hide in the kitchen, okay, and you continue to hear voices. Right, it appears to be two people, two men, right? And they appear to be arguing over something. And one of the voices you've actually heard before. One of the voices appears to belong to that guy that you talked to outside. Remember Etor? The guy that you talked to outside on the fields earlier. Right? He appears to be arguing with someone else. And they appear to be very heated and not very happy with each other. They're walking closer and closer to you until finally they are basically in front of the kitchen door. Alright, you see them?
Okay.
Yeah. They're right in front of the kitchen door. Right? And you can hear them from outside. And actually the kitchen door has a keyhole, alright? You can actually peer through the keyhole and catch a glimpse of them. Alright, your vision right now is kind of like this, like you can see out through the keyhole out in front of you, like that. Okay? And so you can catch a glimpse of these two guys and what they're saying. And Etor, the one on the right, seems to be berating the guy on the left. And Etter is saying, "Alright, Salvador, you've got one last chance to redeem yourself. If you screw up tonight, if you try any shenanigans, I will put you down. Do you understand?" And this guy on the left, Salvador, is like, "Come off it, Etter. You know I'll keep myself in line." And Etter's like, "Ha, you say that, but you nearly destroyed everything. Listen, you might be my half-brother, but I will not hesitate to kill you if you ruin things. Understand?" Salvador is silent, seems to nod his head solemnly, and look dejected. Etter says, "I need to get everything ready for tonight. I need to prepare the coaches for Lady Malouse, and then I'll see you later in the square. No shenanigans, understand?" And then he steps out and closes the door and leaves. Okay. So this guy, Salvador, is standing against the side of the wall, looking disappointingly at his feet. You guys are still peering at him through the keyhole. And Claudia nudges your shoulder and says, "Hey, Lester," she's whispering in your ear. "Lester, do you remember when we were in Laura's Square a long time ago and we were talking with those helpers of Evelyn, asking her about the guy that they saw watching the slug?"
Yeah.
"And we asked one of them to draw a picture for us?" Yeah.
Could be this guy?
You see this?
Yeah.
It's a pretty terrible picture, but there is some resemblance. He's got a big schnoz and kind of ugly, and that seems to make sense.
Yeah, could be.
So this
Something
guy,
fishy going on here.
this guy shakes his head, and then he angrily slams a fist. Okay, he angrily slams a fist against the wall right here, and says, "Damn it!" He slams a fist against the wall, and the door shakes. Okay. But then he seems to walk down the corridor again. He walks down the corridor again. You can hear his footsteps retreating. And then you can hear another shifting sound, okay, as if something has been moved. And then all is quiet once more.
Secret passageway.
Seems like it, Lester. So, Claudia creaks open the door and peers out, and the coast is clear. There doesn't appear to be anyone at the scene right now.
Okay. Well, should we go up and see if we can see that thing?
Yeah, sure. Let's pop out. So, I don't know.
Take a look.
It's probably in that room somewhere. Okay. So now that you know for sure that something, this room might have something in it, you can try to figure out exactly what it is.
Can we do another perception thing?
Yeah, yeah, sure. Do another thing. It'll be the value you have to beat will be lower this time.
Still low.
What was it?
7.
Oh, Claudia got a 9. Claudia got it. Yeah. So you're not exactly sure what's up with this room, but there does seem to be. Hey, you see, there's something weird with the floor here. There's some marks on the floor. It's almost like sand or dirt. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, some
I think we may need to move this table, Lester. Do you want to move the table?
Yeah, why don't we do?
Alright.
Yeah, let's move it.
Okay, you pick up both sides of the table, both you and Claudia. Turn it. Let's see. Turn it this way. Lift it and push it over to here. It's not that heavy. Okay. Alright. Now what?
There's a rug there, it looks like, right?
Yeah, do you want to roll up the rug or move it, or what do you want to do?
Yeah, we just slide it to the side.
Okay, you can slide the rug to the side. Ah.
Uh-huh.
Well, Lester, a secret passageway if I ever seen one.
Yeah. Well.
So it's 2 doors, and there's another lock on the doors.
Any of the keys work?
Keys do not work.
Okay.
Yeah. So your lockpick broke. Claudia still has one. So you can try to pick it. Or,
yeah.
Or the other option is to bash the door and break it. It's up to you. Do you want to pick it?
Okay.
Alright. Let's pick the lock. Ah, a 10. Alright, yeah. She picks it open. Okay. She picks it open, and then the doorway opens, revealing a passageway leading downwards. Alright, now let me just roll again for Claudia to see if she noticed something. Alright, Claudia rolled a 6. Okay. So she picks the lock, and it seems to be normal. It seems to be okay. She didn't really notice anything else. Will you go inside?
Can I look inside first? Can I do?
Yeah, sure. It just leads downwards underground. It appears to be some kind of cellar or basement area.
The ladder?
There's steps going down.
The steps. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
All right. So you guys go down, and I will reveal something. All right. Let me reveal this. All right. Do you see it?
Oh wow.
Are here right now. All right. There is a wide open kind of like cellar area surrounding you, and there's a doorway in front of you and then another doorway down the hall. What now?
Okay. Is there anything of use over here?
Well, so
Like on this table?
well, so wait. There's a door right here. Are you gonna open it? Do you open it and go through? Okay, I'm assuming you opened it and went through. Okay, you opened the door and you went through. All right. Now, Claudia didn't notice this, unfortunately. When she picked the lock, there was a tripwire running down into the cellar. So she set something off. Okay. She set off something that was either an alarm or a bell or something that you guys couldn't hear, but something that the person in the cellar could hear. Alright? So as you guys open this sliding cellar door, this fellow right here pops up from the side and attacks both of you. Okay? Yeah. So, you need to roll for initiative and fight this guy. He's attacking you with hostile intent.
Five.
Okay, you rolled a 5. Lester LeFoe is a 5. Let me see what Claudia rolled. Claudia rolls a 3. Pretty shitty. Let me see what this guy rolled. Oh, this guy rolled a 4, so that's not great either. Okay, so the order is you, that guy, and then Claudia. Alright? You're up. What do you want to do?
I am going to shoot him with the crossbow.
Okay, what kind of bolt do you want to use?
Just regular.
Okay, using a regular bolt. Very good. Alright, so roll me a d20.
Got 6.
Okay, roll me again. You're gonna end up.
Still rather shite.
Yeah, roll me again. You're gonna take whichever one's lower, unfortunately, because he surprised you. You're gonna take whichever one's lower.
12.
A 12. Okay, so you have to take the 6. All right, that's 6. So let me see. You rolled a 6, and let's see if that missed or not. 6 plus. All right, that unfortunately. So okay, so as you fire off your crossbow, he sidesteps. All right, and your bolt goes into the barrel behind him. You missed. All right. Now it is his turn. All right, he has advantage. So let's see what he's going to do. Let's roll for him. And let's see. He rolls 17. All right. Yeah. So his attack is definitely going to hit. Let's see what he's going to do. He is going to target you. Okay. All right. So here's what he does. He pulls out a blowgun. Okay. He pulls out a blowgun and then he blows into it. All right. And he shoots a dart at you. All right. He shoots a dart. The dart hits you, and what's your HP? Your HP is at 20 right now. Okay. The dart does 1 damage automatically, so your HP is at 19. All right. HP is currently at 19. The dart did 1 damage. Claudia's HP is at 13. Just to keep that in mind. Now,
okay.
as the dart hits you, all right, you feel something coursing through your system. All right, you need to do a saving throw. You need to roll another d20. Let's see if this affects you or not.
Oh.
You rolled a 2. Oh man. All right, you rolled a 2. All right, you are paralyzed now. You cannot move. You cannot move at all.
Dang.
All right. So this guy still has his movement. He didn't move on this turn. He just attacked. So now he strafes around. You don't get an attack of opportunity on him because you're paralyzed. You can't move at all. He strafes around and is engaged with Claudia on the side here. All right. So now it's Claudia's turn. What will she do? Let's see what Claudia will do. Claudia.
Maybe she can do her vine thing.
Yeah, maybe she can do her vine thing. Alright, so she's going to attack with her staff of vines. Unfortunately, she's surprised, so she has to take the lower value for attack roll. Let's see. She rolled an 18. Let's see what her second roll is. A 14. 14. Okay, she gets a... Alright, that's pretty good. So she takes the 14, and then plus... Okay, so her attack is going to hit. Alright, excellent. Alright, so her attack does 1d8 plus 3 damage. Let's see what that is. Her attack automatically does 11 damage on the guy. Pretty good. So she leans back with her staff and then smashes it against the dude's head. A wallop right to the brain, and the guy suffers 11 damage. Alright. What you probably should have done, Josh, in the beginning is use one of your abilities against that guy. Remember, you have that thing that lets you use this, get extra damage, a sneak attack ability.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you probably should.
I probably also should have drank the potion.
Yeah, maybe you should have drank the potion. Yeah. All right. Now Claudia still.
Yeah.
Okay, so when Claudia smacked the guy with her staff, she yelled out the magic Elvish word that the staff uses to create vines. Evrash. Okay. Now I need to see if this will actually work on the guy, because there's a chance it won't work. He needs to. Let's see. What does he need to beat? He needs to. To beat a certain value in order for this to work on him. Right. Let's see what he does. Okay, yep, he doesn't beat it. Alright, he is restrained. Vines shoot up out of the ground. Okay, shoot up underneath the earth, and then restrain him. Alright? On his turn, he can repeat that throw to see if that saving throw to see if he can free himself, but currently he is restrained and you are paralyzed. So it's actually just Claudia who can move right now. Alright, so now it's back to your turn. Okay? So now you have a chance to do something called a saving throw. You can repeat the saving throw. You can try to basically will yourself to move despite the paralysis, but you need to beat a very high number, unfortunately. So try doing the saving throw. Give me a roll, and we'll see if you can do it.
Oh, a 20.
A 20? Really? Jesus. All right. So despite the fact that you didn't drink the potion, you rolled a natural 20, which means that through sheer force of will, Lester LeFoe wills himself to somehow break free from the grip of this poison, alright? And so you're able to move again, okay? You're able to move, but yeah, slowly, but you're able to move. Did you really roll a 20?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, you can check.
Well, there you go. You had to roll a 20. You had to roll a 20 in order to free yourself from the grips of the poison, but you did it. All right.
Oh.
Yeah. So now you can actually. So now you have a turn. You have a turn again. You can. You can do something.
Can I drink the potion now?
Yeah, sure. That'll take up. That'll take up the rest of your turn.
The turn.
Yeah, that'll take up the rest of your turn. Okay, so you drink the potion.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you drink the potion.
Yeah, I'll drink the potion.
You drink the potion, and you're down. You're down 1 potion. Okay. And so as you drink the potion, you feel invigorated. All effects of the poison seem to have worn off. Okay. And now you can still move. You haven't used up your movement.
Okay.
You can move if you want to. This guy cannot get an attack of opportunity on you because he's got vines covering him.
Okay. So we can like escape, I guess, right? Or can I attack him?
You can attack him. You might as well attack him, because if you escape, I mean, on his turn he gets to do a throw to see if he can escape from the vines. He's gonna come after you.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's
What you might want to do
I can't
is
change weapons, right?
No, what you might want to do is you might want to move because you got a ranged weapon right now. You don't need to be right in front of him for him to hit him. You might want to move somewhere else, like move somewhere else in the room and just shoot at him from afar, because you have an advantage.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I moved by the. I'm gonna say by the.
Now, for some reason, the connection's really bad tonight. I can't see like what you're doing. But yeah, where'd you move to? By the. Oh, you there, Josh? Did I lose you again? Did you freeze up again? Ah, okay. Lost him. Hopefully he'll sign back on again. Hello!